welcome to my current autistic obsession. Today's mangy hedgehog is EYX. He looks really cool. I love his design. Can't say too much about his lore because it's unfinished, but I love his design. I didn't have much lore to pull from, so obviously these abilities are probably not even in the ballpark, but I just kind of worked off of what I had. So yeah, we're gonna do that. You're gonna watch me basically take shots in the dark and hit nothing. Before we get into the weird and wacky abilities I gave him, how about a brief history, because those abilities make no fucking sense otherwise. Welcome to a brief history with a fucking idiot. EYX, made by Kaua161. You do not know how many takes it took me to even get that kind of pronunciation, but we're going to continue. EYX is a member of an unknown species of living organisms who made a biological truce with parasites that infected their bodies, now being born with said parasites inside them. He is somewhat empathetic with his victims. In his prime phase, EYX and his brother CYN, who we're not going to talk about, but he may make an appearance, who knows. He's basically just EYX's version of Tails, by the way. Anyways, EYX and his brother CYN hid away in a Sonic ROM, but due to unforeseen circumstances, a whole new ecosystem exploded in said ROM that eventually turned the game into a world full of its own life. Primals, the Derived, and the Fallen, with both EYX and CYN belonging to the foremost one. This also means that the characters Sonic.eyx kills are not the real deals, but rather random creatures that happen to look similar to them. And that's all the lore. The rest is in development, so that's really all we have to go off of. They have parasites inside them, and they can make ecosystems and shit. So, yeah, this is going to be wonderful. Starting with the passives, damage will be 40, but for the sweep it will be 30. Speed will be slow, like Colossus. They're just slightly slower than 2011X. The sweep speed will be very slow, and the slam will be slow. We'll get into the slam and the sweep a bit later. The first passive is a passive I don't think you're going to like until you hear the rest of the abilities, but I'm doing it anyway, also because it connects to the character a little bit. Mercy. Survivors on Second Life take 20% less damage, but that is gone during LMS. This means from any source of damage whatsoever, except for like environmental shit. Next passive would be Parasitic Resistance, because he has parasites and shit. Stun times are lowered by a base of minus 15%, so going off of however long 2011X gets stunned, it's just 15% lower than that. But every parasite collected raises this resistance by 5 up to 30%. We'll get into parasites a bit later. Starting off with his abilities, we have his M1s. A basic slam attack that deals 40 damage and only hits one target, and you can toggle this with like Z or something to toggle it to a sweep that hits 3 survivors maximum and only does 30 damage. So you're swapping out more damage for AoE, which is pretty neat. But the sweep is much, much slower than the regular slam. The regular slam would be like slower than normal 2011X, but faster than Rage, and then the sweep would be slower than Rage hit recovery. The first ability is the reason I gave him the Mercy thing earlier. His first ability would be Parasitic Projectile with a cooldown of 15 seconds. You would toss a parasite that deals 15 damage when hit. The parasite weakens abilities. All stuns are about at 75% effectiveness, and all abilities are halved. So like Cream's heal would only last for half the duration, Sonic's peel out would only last for half the duration, etc., etc. The parasite does work on metallics, so Metal and Omega are not safe. You can counter it and block it with Eggman's shield, however, that would not stun EYX, obviously it's a projectile. The parasite lasts for 1 minute before the survivor turns to normal, or EYX can remove it, which leads us to our next ability. EYX's second ability would be Primal Dash, with a cooldown of 30 seconds, but 50 if you catch an infected survivor. Similar to Colossus in 2011X, EYX can dash forward after a short little windup that can be interrupted that forces the survivor into the grab minigame if they get grabbed. If the survivor doesn't have a parasite, they need to get 5 combos of the grab rhythm game in 4 seconds to wiggle free, otherwise they get thrown by EYX, dealing 25 damage on impact and ragdolling. If you get thrown into the void, it deals no damage. The survivor has a parasite, EYX will attempt to rip it out of them, dealing 30 damage. However, completing the minigame lets you wiggle free and EYX misses out on the parasite. The survivor doesn't get thrown if they fail. It just gets ripped out and then he gets stunned for a little bit. But if you fail this minigame and you have a parasite, you have just powered up EYX. Now he has more resistance to stuns. EYX's final ability is kinda lame. Spawn Searcher. Highlights infected survivors for 3 seconds. That's literally it. If there are no infected survivors, it will highlight the closest survivor for 3 seconds. Yeah, that's it. On to the conclusion. I did what I could. There's not much on EYX. I really just tried to incorporate those big-ass arms with the sweep and the parasitic origin. I don't know if CYN, his little brother thing, is going to make an appearance or not, but if he does, I would be welcome to it. That would be pretty radical. So, that's all I really have for EYX. I may make a remake to this video if more information comes out about EYX's abilities, but for now I have literally no knowledge on the character and what he can do, so I don't really know what to do other than give him parasites and let him use them big-ass arms and that big-ass eye. If you liked the video, like it, you know, standard YouTuber shit. The next one is going to be Sonic, which is weird to me. Why is Sonic on the executioner's list? But whatever, I'll make a moveset for him. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole video. Please put Talia in the game.
Am I some sort of clown to you?
I hate my job.